Recently, I was able to witness the fights of 3 great warriors. His powers were completely absurd. I had never seen anything like it.
It's your boy, Dragon Ball Art 92, and I'm back with another Kamehameha reaction video. Yeah, man, today we got a good one, man. We're going to be doing a reaction video to the Future Trunks Who Ruined Timelines by Smug Sticks. But before we get to the content today, you guys, make sure you hit that like button so we can trigger YouTube algorithm. That way we can be seen by a bigger audience. Also, if you're new here, we welcome you and we thank you for coming by and enjoying content with us today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and become a part of the Dragon Ball Art family today. And make sure you hit that bell notification so that way you can be updated whenever I drop a video. All right, guys. With that being said, let's get to the content. You already know how this goes. Let's go.
This is hands down the wildest and funniest Future Trunks story you've probably never heard of. I recently made a video talking about Dragon Ball SD, an official remake of Dragon Ball that made it quicker, funnier, and added a lot more Trunks. But how can a remake of Dragon Ball add more of a character who only appeared in one arc of the original manga? Well, at the end of every volume, Naho Oishi, the author, includes bonus comics. They're usually simple things, like a Valentine's Day special, a celebration of Saikyo Jump, or a panel of Oishi's mom calling her out for having Goku naked for an...
Well, I didn't know that, and I got the mangas, so I need to go through my books and actually read some of this. But if this is coming out of the manga, this is definitely gonna be a dope. So this is canon. Let's get back to it.
Entire chapter, but there is something of a recurring side comic in the form of Future Trunks' time travel shenanigans. So let's go down this obscure and hilarious side of Dragon Ball. Come on, y'all! The first story happens at the end of Volume 2. Trunks just returned to his timeline after the events of the Cell arc, and now he has to get rid of the androids. But Future Bulma asks him, wouldn't it be better to just go back in time and defeat Gero before he creates the androids? So Trunks agrees to do exactly that. The future warrior uses the time machine to go back all the way to Kid Goku and Krillin's training. There, he finds the totally normal Dr. Gero casually chatting to a literal child. This is actually Android 18 as a kid. If you didn't know, before they were turned into androids, they were just normal people. 17 was the...
So they actually have manga panels with the androids being human kids and Dr. Gero being a creep. Yeah, Dr. Gero got exactly what he had coming. For real. But that's dope, though. I need to definitely go back and check that out. Let's get back to the content.
Lapis and 18 Lazuli. Gero is asking her if she'd like to be turned into an android in exchange for a lollipop. So Trunks comes rushing in with a youthful hope punch, but stops just shy of hitting Gero when Goku and Krillin walk on by, as Gero unleashes Android number 9. Funny enough, this is one of the only times we've ever seen one of the quote-unquote failed number androids. So I guess this takes place after the Red Ribbon Army arc.
Not Android number 9 going after Goku and Krillin while they were training with Master Roshi. You know, hey, that's pretty dope, bro. Because these side stories be getting interesting. Knowing that Android, it failed, obviously. But Gero been on this plan for a long time. Let's get back to it.
Goku one-shots the android away, and Gero promises not to do bad things ever again. Krillin asks 18 if she's okay, and she kisses Krillin on the cheek, with the bald kid blushing like cooked octopus, while Trunks celebrates this strange victory and leaves back home.
Quite interesting, right? It seemed like them two was meant for each other. You know, 18 and Krillin. Interesting.
Still, Gero continues down his dark path, and we get a glimpse of Kid 17, who asks 18 if she likes octopuses, which explains a lot. In the next story, Trunks decides that it's time to return to the past and update everyone on the future android's defeat. But this time he will travel to a slightly different time, 7 years from the Cell games. Trunks' time machine appears at Orange Star High School, where Gohan is playing baseball with his classmates. Trunks hides behind a tree, surprised to see a grown-up Gohan, and reminiscing upon his old master. But Erasa shows up behind him, pushing him into the game. She doesn't recognize him, but knows that Trunks is just her type. Meanwhile, Gohan is worried about keeping his powers a secret, but loses track of his thoughts when he freaks out at seeing future Trunks. Trunks and Gohan stare at each other. No words, no explanation, just a pure warrior's connection. A technique only known as Z-Contact. According to a text box, Gohan asks Trunks to help him out, and he agrees that no one will find out about their powers. So Trunks throws the baseball with very little strength, but that's still enough to explode the entire side of the field. Gohan yells at Trunks, who apologizes. He trained a little too much in preparation for the Cell games, and now he doesn't know his own power. The coach, Freddie Mercury, runs up behind them and congratulates them on being so amazing, and that they'll for sure enter the Koshien baseball tournament, and change the title from Dragon Ball Z to DBZ, Dragon Baseball Z. The next volume has
Oh my God. Hey, imagine them really playing baseball, bro. That's an unfair matchup, bro. Yeah, they didn't need to play no sports, bro. Like literally, they pretty much cheat codes for any sport they play, bro. I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? Like for real, for real.
Trunks once again traveling in time to the end of Z. Trunks is surprised to see how full of life this place is, running into himself. Well, present Trunks, who's complaining about having to participate in the tournament. Future Trunks sneaks up behind him and knocks him out in one punch, taking his clothes. A little embarrassed to wear a Capsule Corp branded shirt before the tournament starts, and while getting hit on by a guy, Trunks notices one of the participants insulting his father, calling him an old man who should die. So Trunks flies in with a kicking him and yelling at him for talking to his father like that. When Goku notices him, Trunks tries to say that he's tired of these youngins disrespecting the elders. But in reality, Goku recognized him as future Trunks. The future warrior says that he wanted to enter for fun and maybe win the grand prize.
That's so funny, bro. Goku recognized him off the gate. He was like, "No, you can't play that type of role with me, bro. I know who you is. I know who you is." Hilarious. Let's get back to it.
Goku laughs and whispers to Pan to punch Trunks and really show off that power creep. Pan lightly punches Trunks, sending him spinning out into the moon. Goku comments on how Trunks couldn't even defeat Perfect Cell at this point, and Vegeta says it's all due to lack of training. While Trunks suffers on the moon, he realizes that he's come to an alternate world where enemies just become stronger and stronger, while he's left behind. That's right, Trunks, this is End of Z. We clown in this mode. You better take your sensitive ass back to the future timeline. In this same volume,
they roasted him, bro. Told him take it back home. Hey, it's getting pretty good for Trunks to be traveling through these different timelines like this. You know, he's getting a lot of experience. And I didn't know they made this, bro, in the manga. Like, real talk, bro. I really need to be paying more attention. You know, but once the brother get a lot of more free time, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Getting real deep into the Dragon Ball lore. Let's go.
We get another Trunks story. This time we pick up just as Trunks returns to the past. After Vegeta defeated Android 19, Trunks saves his child self and mother from an attack. While Vegeta does nothing but angrily look for Gero, Trunks tries to call him out for almost getting them both killed, but he feels something tap his shoulder. None other than Future Trunks. He tells himself to calm down. He shouldn't be so disappointed in his father already. In the near future, Vegeta will change and show just how much he really does love his son. With his change in personality, Vegeta will be the most loyal husband in all of Dragon Ball. In Battle of Gods, he even says, "My Bulma," in a great scene that readers should definitely not miss out, as this came out right around the time of Battle of Gods. Vegeta denies it, but both Trunks and Bulma are convinced, with Bulma saying that she definitely made the right choice by breaking up with Yamcha. But this volume also got a
call Vegeta out for his love. Vegeta hate being called out like that. I mean, it was plenty of times. I mean, I remember one time Bulma tried to kiss him, and he go say, "I hate your sneak attacks." Hold on. I gotta do that the right way.
I hate your sneak attacks.
Oh my God, bro, it's so hilarious. Let's get back to it.
a special 5-page manga with a bonus Trunks adventure. This time, Trunks traveled in time to see the moment Bulma and Vegeta met. According to Bulma, they met on Namek, where Vegeta said, "Give me that Dragon Ball or I'll kill you, woman." But awkwardly, Trunks is still on Earth. Definitely not Namek. While thinking about what to do, a pod suddenly crashes down behind Trunks. Kid Vegeta and Raditz have landed on Earth a lot earlier than expected. They're here looking for Kakarot, while Trunks hides in the bushes, realizing that he went way too far back in time. Vegeta says that he needs to find Kakarot and kill every single human. Since Planet Vegeta is gone, even the lowest class Saiyans are important. But all of a sudden, Kid Bulma appears with a blaster, saying that she heard everything the aliens said. A long time ago, she detected their ship coming to Earth, and has been preparing ever since. Raditz got scared at first, but she's just a little girl, telling Bulma to just accept the fate of her world. To which Bulma responds by shooting Raditz away after he pets her head. Vegeta looks terrified, and asks if all weapons on Earth are like that. Bulma replies that this one is special, she made it herself. Vegeta can't believe it. A 5-year-old with those capabilities? Maybe it's time to retreat. So the two Saiyans leave, realizing that they'll need a whole army.
So Bulma saved that planet with just her knowledge alone. That's pretty deep, bro. They did they work. They did they thing in this, bro. Like, hold on, bro. And people try to say Dragon Ball don't have good storylines or Dragon Ball ain't funny. Get the out of here.
To take down Earth. Kid Bulma saved the world, and Trunks knows that in the future, she will use her intellect to save it time and time again. Once again, Trunks experienced his mother's greatness. Then, in a different bonus manga, Trunks time travels to the Goku vs Vegeta fight on accident. He looks around for the Z Fighters, but only finds a bright light in the sky. Trunks has no idea that this is an artificial moon. So as Vegeta transforms into an Ozaru, and he tells Goku that his power increased 10 times, Goku interrupts him to ask him if he knows the guy behind him. Vegeta turns around in shock to find Trunks with his sword already drawn. Trunks has never seen a great ape before, so terrified, he asks Goku what this thing is, and he has a complete meltdown. Judging from his outfit, he must be the remnants of the Frieza Force. Did Frieza really keep such a giant pet? Vegeta actually starts to get offended when Trunks starts asking, "How big of a spaceship did you need to come all the way to Earth, you monkey? Also, think of the poor people who had to make Saiyan armor that size. Go back to your home planet, you monkey." So Vegeta sits on the floor, his feelings hurt by the blatant racism of this random kid. Goku tries to console him by telling him that the Ozaru actually
There's no way, bro. That Vegeta ego had got attacked, and he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. Let's get back to it.
And that's when Trunks realizes that the monkey is his dad. In Volume 5, Trunks time travels again, but this time into Resurrection F. He's confused as to why he returned to the Frieza fight. Frieza mocks Super Saiyan with Golden Frieza, while Goku reveals his new form, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. So in response, Frieza calls his new form Super Golden Frieza God Frieza, and Goku retaliates by calling his Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Blue Galactic. Everyone watches the argument in confusion, while Trunks asks Jacko, "Hey, did I come back to a time when Frieza and Goku were children?" Jacko says that it may seem like a child's playground argument, but they're so strong that this is the least of their issues. Afterwards, the Galactic Patrol seizes Trunks' time machine for violating galactic law. In the next story, we find Trunks during his first appearance, right as Goku arrives on Earth from space. Goku has no idea who Trunks is, but then, how exactly did he know where he'd land? Trunks takes Goku aside and explains his story, how he's the son of Bulma, how the androids will attack in 3 years, and boom! Trunks from Dragon Ball Super pushes him to the side, saying that he too has come from the future asking for help, and that his future is much worse than the other Trunkses, so he should get priority. In fact, since he's from Dragon Ball Super, that means that Goku helping him will get him a lot stronger. It only makes sense. But Z-Trunks says that if he doesn't get help, then Super Trunks will disappear, and then 6 more future Trunkses appear out of nowhere, each needing help at a different point in time.
What the is going on here? 6 different Trunks at the same time the first Trunks came back? Bro, that's wacky, bro. That's a wacky timeline. Like, it'll have you going crazy. I can imagine what Goku feeling like seeing all these Trunks just walking up on him like, what is going on? I can't help all you. Like one of y'all, I can help one of y'all. Like it's crazy, bro. Like, man, they did a good job with this storyline. Let's get back to it.
One of them defeated the androids but can't fight Cell. One where Babidi and his Majins have appeared. One where Boo was reborn in the future. Each one saying that their timeline is worse than the last. Goku can't help them all out, so he comes up with a brilliant idea. Why don't they just help each other out? All the Trunkses cheer and realize that this is exactly why Bulma trusted Goku so much. And so, in the future timeline, an entire army of Trunkses show up to defeat the androids once and for all, bringing the light of hope to the future.
Now that was a clever thought from Goku. Goku was actually using his brain because that actually fixed the whole situation. All of them could have probably even beat Goku Black. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Not the fused mergers of Masu, though. Not that version. But maybe Black. Maybe. Let's get back to it.
The next one has Trunks going back in time to give Goku the heart medicine, but he messes up again. This time ending up at the very end of the first arc of Dragon Ball. And Trunks can't take it anymore. He's messed up far too many times. And now the time machine only has enough fuel to go back home. But it doesn't matter. He's dead set on changing the future. So he turns to Kid Goku and tells him everything. That he's Bulma's kid and that Goku has to take this medicine when the symptoms appear. In around 18 years. Oolong and Puar say that, knowing Goku, he will likely lose the medicine before then, while Trunks realizes that those two look exactly the same in this timeline. Are they immortal? Yamcha then puts a hand on Trunks' shoulder, saying that he turned out to be just as handsome as his old man is. Trunks awkwardly avoids telling him that he's not his son, when his mom walks in to ask what's taking so long, and falling in love with Trunks. She begs him to go out with her and marry her, while Trunks tries to push her away and tell her that she already has Vegeta in the future, while at the same time he starts to disappear.
Well, this is heavy.
He tried to save the future from a hellish fate, but by going so far back, maybe he's really doomed us all. In the next story, Trunks ends up on East.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a crazy fate to go back in time trying to save yourself, but erase yourself at the same time because you meddled with time too much. Whoa. That's insane.
City, moments before the fight against the Saiyans begins, meaning that the city is completely destroyed. He goes to find a powerful key he senses, finding the crew and the Cybermen. Tien, Chaozu, and Trunks arrive to help. Krillin asks who the hell he is, and the future warrior starts to freak out, because he realizes that none of them know him yet. Yamcha also lands at the same time. In an attempt to save the future from changing, he points to Vegeta and says that he's just his family member. Nappa asks if this is true, since the prince even had a brother Nappa had no idea about. Vegeta denies it and sends out the Cybermen to attack Trunks. Since Trunks has never seen a Cyberman before, he just asks who they are. Why are they green? Are they Piccolo's friends? And then they explode. Sometime later, Goku arrives, finding Piccolo, Tien, and Chaozu dead, and then Trunks in Yamcha's death pose. Goku asks who he is, and they still have no idea.
I can't imagine Trunks taking that pose or going out like that, bro, when he was way stronger than them Cybermen at that time, bro. Especially if he was traveling back in the time, bro. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy work right there, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Let's get back to it.
Yeah. But hey, Yamcha survived this time. The narrator ends the story by saying that Trunks has decided to be more careful when inputting a year. Volume 8 brings us the resurrection of F Special. We open with Bulma yelling at Trunks for always ending up on the wrong time period. Trunks tries to make excuses, saying that it's the time machine, but Bulma is having none of it, reminding her son that he needs to arrive precisely as Frieza lands on Earth. Trunks leaves, but Bulma still has a bad feeling about this. Trunks finds the Z-Fighters discussing how Frieza is about to land, so he pops up from behind Piccolo and Krillin, asking them to give Goku the medicine and a letter explaining it all. But Krillin recognizes Trunks right away and isn't amused by the joke. Trunks is confused. They shouldn't know who he is yet. He isn't even wearing his own name on his clothes like Dragon Ball characters usually do. Just then, Frieza's ship lands. Trunks gets ready to slice Frieza apart, telling Krillin and Yamcha to stay back. I'm not Yamcha! Trunks battles Frieza at his ship and gets blasted away. So the future warrior returns, saying that he couldn't beat Frieza, and
Wow. Trunks didn't know what he was getting himself into, messing with Golden Frieza. You know what I mean? He didn't understand what he was facing at this time. He went too far in the future. I thought he was supposed to go in the past. He jumped to a whole different timeline and went to the future. Insane, bro. Let's get back to it though.
Tries to leave to the correct time, only for Piccolo to stop him and Krillin to yell out,
Hurry, Goku! We need your help!
Future Trunks had plenty of adventures by going to the wrong time periods, but by Volume 10, it was already time for him to be properly introduced. So when Mecha Frieza arrives on Earth in the SD manga proper, Trunks appears in his full glory. It's such a great moment that Trunks breaks down crying with happiness. It's been 10 years since he first appeared in the SD bonus comic. And finally, he made
It took him 10 years to get to the right position in the timelines. That's insane. Like, how much time traveling were you doing? You totally screwed up the time. Is that why all those rings were in Goasu's little ring holder? So many time rings that they had already before we was even introduced to the time rings? That's insane, bro.
made it to the main manga. Oishi even includes a bonus illustration behind the dust jacket, showing the 3 panels of Trunks going back in time, which she had been using time and time again. Finally able to be retired after Trunks would go through the story as normal. And with that, the time-traveling adventures of Trunks more or less come to an end, except for one final story as part of the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball. Future Trunks has defeated the androids and Cell, so now it's time to return to the past and thank everyone. Or so Bulma would like to say. But Trunks' time travel mishaps have already caused way too much trouble, and they take a lot of energy. Thankfully, she was able to use parts of the defeated androids to make the time machine's energy infinite. So Trunks goes back in time to Capsule Corp during the celebrations of Cell's defeat. Krillin wonders if Trunks was able to defeat Cell in his timeline, and Gohan is sure that he could do it. And speak of the devil, just then, the time machine appears. The Z fighters rush over to welcome Trunks, only to find the machine completely full of people. Trunks explains that he once again messed up the time travel, but thanks to the infinite energy, he could just keep trying over and over. But through all these travels, different versions of Goku also wanted to come along. So Trunks brought everyone. It was a painful ride, mostly because of Goku's spiky hair. But he begins introducing them all. First, it's Goku before he even met Bulma. Then there's the 23rd World Tournament Goku, whom Chi-Chi runs to, but he doesn't recognize. Then Trunks brings out 3 different versions of Super Saiyan 1 Goku. That's right, no Super Saiyan 3 or 2, but 3 different versions of the first form. As Trunks says, it may be surprising, but they are all different depending on the era. Then there's God, Blue, and Ultra Instinct Goku. Vegeta is annoyed at all the colors used, while Piccolo is surprised that there's no Orange Goku. So it turned into a whole Goku convention. Krillin and Gohan are surprised by so many Goku.
That would be insane. I wonder if they actually animate something like that one day, bro. That'll actually be pretty dope, man. Give them a round of applause for this storyline, though. Because, in my opinion, it's very possible for them to mess up the timelines by Trunks doing all that time traveling, bro. And then going to the wrong times, telling the wrong information and all. It can really make it wonky. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to it, though.
Who's wanting to come along. But of course, the answer is that all Gokus wanted to fight someone stronger than themselves. But DBS Broly Goku complains that now that they're all here, it's just the same guy everywhere. They all have basically the same techniques. So Trunks gets a genius idea, leaving with the time machine and returning with all the villains through time. Frieza is already planning on stealing the time machine technology. Cell and Buu want to absorb everyone and become the strongest. Whis and Beerus only care about the food, while the Red Ribbon Army just wants to go home. But this is exactly what all the Goku wanted, teaming up together for an all-out time-space battle. Yamcha is worried about Kid Goku fighting all these supervillains, but Vegeta says that Frieza is terrible with gag manga logic. If anything, this is the best chance to beat them all. The Goku's battle villains. Super Saiyan Goku defeats Cell, Kid Goku uses rock, paper, scissors on Golden Frieza, all the while Trunks thinks to himself that he really learned something throughout all his time travels. Why his mother admired Goku so much. No matter the era, transformation, or power, Goku shows hope to everyone, and Trunks himself hopes to be that one day. And so, Trunks returns to his time. but he used the time machine's infinite energy a little too much and broke it. Now, none of their villains can return to their actual timeline.
That's wild, bro. That's the end of the video too, you guys. Make sure y'all go check out Smug Stick's channel, man. That was a great video. I want to give him props for that, man. I give him a round of applause for that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that video, man, and it's quite interesting to see the storylines that they actually put in the back of the mangas. This makes me think how much more I need to start reading, you feel me? But that was it for today's video, you guys. I want to thank y'all for coming through and enjoying the content with me today. Make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Dragon Ball content. You dig? And also, remember to believe in yourself because ain't nobody else go do it, man. Dragon Ball Art 92. I'm out, y'all. Peace!
Recently, I was able to witness the fights of 3 great warriors. His powers were completely absurd. I had never seen anything like it.